take too long. All right, all right, all right. So just going to do a little live streaming and coding today. Not sure where I'll end up landing. I'm thinking it'll be a workout tracker, but just looking to do a little bit of live stream and interacting with those that may have questions that I can be of assistance to answer. All right, so let's get started. Create next app, add latest, space the dot. I will be using TypeScript. We'll say SD ESLint, yes to Tailwind, no to SRC, yes to the app router, yes to the turbo pack, no to the import alias, and just give it a few minutes to finish installing. Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hope everyone's doing well on this beautiful Saturday evening. Just gonna do some coding. If you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. Hey, what's going on, my friend? Yes, glad to be back. Things are going well. Not bad at all. No complaints at all. So I think for the stack, I'll be using Nextjs, Prisma, vercel, Postgres. Going to add some user authentication with auth.js using Google OAuth. And we'll go from there. We will go from there. Taking a while to install, no problem. It's still going. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. Got any questions? Leave them in the chat. We'd love to know where you are checking in from and say hello. Okay. Now that the project is finished installing, let me close this out. I want to make sure that the app is working. So we'll go ahead and run npm run dev to get it started on the local host. Actually, let me stop that. The first thing I want to do is update the package.json to specify the package manager and some overrides just to make sure the project is compatible with the various versions of dependencies that we'll be using throughout. Next, let's remove the boiler code from the page.tsx file, and we'll replace the initial div with the main tag enclosed with home page. We'll hit save. The last thing I want to do is update the global CSS. Hey, what's going on? Yep, just doing a little bit of live coding, hanging out this Saturday evening. We'll go to the global CSS, remove the initial boiler. We'll add body, HTML, root.app. Inside of it, we'll set the height to 100%, the width to 100%. And we'll also distinguish the text by saying at apply, set the text to small. Bam. That'll take care of the initial setup for the project. Let's go ahead and spin this up on the local server to make sure it's working. So now we'll go back in the terminal and type in npm run dev. And we'll go ahead and head over to localhost 3000. Okay. And we currently have home page on screen. So that is absolutely perfect. Okay, so for now, we'll just go ahead and stop the server. And I need to set up Prisma. So in the terminal, type in the command npm i-d for development Prisma. Okay, now we'll want to install the Prisma client. So that's npm i at prisma slash client. Press enter. Okay, now we'll need to initialize Prisma. So we'll just clear that so we can see it a little better. We'll type npx prisma init. This is going to give us a directory named Prisma with the schema.prisma file. Hope everyone's doing okay. Give it a few seconds and we'll know it once we see the Prisma directory. Just going to work on this Fullstack workout log. Over the next few days, we should have it finished. Okay. And that did install a Prisma directory and a schema.prisma file. This is where we will add our Prisma schema. But for right now, what I want to do is set up the database connection, and we'll be using vercel for that by way of Prisma with Postgres. We'll go back to our text editor. We'll click on the .env file. We can actually delete everything that's currently in it. Paste in this code. Be sure to save it. You can close out that file. update it here. And then next we'll need the client or the Google secret. And we'll just paste it in. Okay. So if we move along in the documentation, the next step will be to bring in the Google provider within the auth.ts file. So we'll do that now. Close this out. Add this. And the providers will be Google. We already have the handler set up. So now we're just ready to add a sign in, sign out button. So let's test this out. Well, actually, no. I want to persist this data in the database. So we'll need to add the Prisma adapter first. But I'm going to keep this code pulled up because we will need to use it to conditionally render a sign in button to test it out. So let's just go to the docs, adapters. We'll be using the Prisma adapter. So go down to Prisma. Now just open it in a new tab. We've already set up the initial Prisma documentation. Uh-oh, looks like. Sorry about that, but thanks for the heads up. Guess my webcam was acting up a little bit today, but it's all good. All right. So we'll follow the Prisma documentations. I'll close this out to make sure it stays on here. Okay. So first thing we need to do is install the client and the adapter. We've already installed the client, but I'm just going to make sure I have it. So we'll just copy it, go back to VS Code, install this command. All right, we are back. So we've installed the adapter. We'll install Prisma next. Here. Then we need to update the database URL. We've already done that. Now we need to add the Prisma function. To improve performance using Prisma ORM, we can set up the Prisma instance to ensure only one instance is created throughout the project and then import it from any file as needed. This approach avoids recreating instances of the Prisma client every time it is used. Finally, we can import the Prisma instance from the auth.ts into the configuration. So first, we'll go ahead and add it into the project. I personally like to add it into a directory named lib, not live. We'll add a file named prisma.ts, and we'll just paste in this code directly. And then we'll need to import it into the auth.ts as an instance. And they have it listed there already for us. So we can just copy the adapter. And then one trick that I like to do with VS Code, once you have the appropriate extensions installed, is use the IntelliSense to help import various functions. So in this instance, we need to import Prisma, and versus typing out import Prisma and then doing at where it's from, if you remove the last two characters and retype MA, the IntelliSense is going to give a selection of options of where you can import it from. And then in most instances, the very first option is going to be the one that is local first. So this is referring to the ./lib/prisma.ts file that we just created. So I'm just going to import it. And that's going to care for the adapter. I'm not worried about the edge compatibility for this project, but it is something to be aware of. Next, we'll need to add the Prisma schema or update the schema. And for this project, we're using Postgres database. So I will just copy everything from the model user down. I guess I could have just hit the copy button, but it's okay. And we'll just copy it and close this out for now. And then underneath the data source DB, just paste in this code, and we can remove the authenticator. Won't be using that for this project. And we'll also remove it from the user. Okay, so what we'll need to do at this point is set up the schemas for the project. And as I mentioned, this is a workout log or workout tracker. So the first model I want to add is for the actual workout itself and what it will look like. So we'll call it model workout. We'll want a ID as a string and have it automatically update. So I'll just copy that to save some code, to save some typing, I should say. Clean this up a little. What's going on out there? Hello, hello. I appreciate you stopping by. Just coding a full stack project with Prisma, Nextjs, Postgres. Let me know where you are watching from. So for the workout, it will need a name. This will be stored as a string, a type, and we haven't defined this just yet, but I'm going to create a separate model named workout type. And as a matter of fact, we can go ahead and add it now. The model, or excuse me, the workout types will be of two different types. It'll either be a strength workout or a cardio. So we know we'll need to use the keyword enum, and we'll just call it workout type. And then inside of it, we'll define the two options, which will be strength. It should be capitalized, STRENGTH, and then cardio. Okay. And then after type for the workout model, we'll need some optional fields. In the event the workout type is strength, we're going to have sets, which will be stored as an integer. We'll have reps, which will be a integer, and we'll include a question mark because we may not have anything. And then we'll also include, let's see, we want sets and reps. It's fine. Let me see. For a workout, we would say bench press will have sets or reps. Okay. And then for cardio, we'll do duration, DURATION. This will be stored as an int, an integer, which will be how long you perform the cardio exercise. And then I think the other good thing we'll want to store with cardio is calories. And this will represent the calories burned, and I'll store that as an integer. And that should care for that. And let me think, we'll need to relate it back to the user. So we'll say user email, which will be a string. And then this will be stored as user, referencing the user model. We'll go add relation fields. We're going to relate the user email, and we want to reference the user's email. And then we can store this back in the users because the user can have multiple workouts. So we'll call it workouts and assign it to the model workout with a empty array. I think I have one too many. There we go. And we'll store the created at and updated at times automatically. So that is the workout. Then we will need, I think this should do it. Because what we'll do from here is we'll create a workout. It will be either, we'll name the workout. We can just call it bench press. We'll select strength. We'll go sets, 2 sets, 10 reps. We should store the weight as well. Weight, WEIGHT, as a int. Let me see, duration, calories, distance. Distance, say int. Okay. It's because if it's a squat, exercise, or workout, maybe this should be called exercise. That makes more sense. Let's change this to exercise. GR. Uh-oh. I need a function. Insert. We'll change this to exercises. EXERCISE. There we go. Make sure nothing else is broke. Exercises. We'll call this exercise type. Do this. I think that makes a little more sense. So we'll create an exercise. But should we add anything else? So if you have an exercise, so on the day, we could create a plan, store everything in a plan, and we'll say the morning workout, and then in the morning workout, you can add multiple exercises to it. So let's do that. Let's go workout plan. So then the workout plan should be related to the user. Think about this for a second. I'm thinking this workout plan users can create workout plans, and then with the workout plan, they can have multiple exercises within the plan. I think that will be it. Yeah. So we'll go model workout plan. We'll increment it. Well, we'll distinguish it with the ID, excuse me. It will have a name. I think this is what should be related to the user. So we'll remove this. And we'll put workout, we'll add created and updated at as well. We'll change this to workout plan. And the user can have multiple workout plans. Excuse me. And then I want the workout plan to store multiple exercises. So we'll say exercises will be related to the exercise model with an empty array. And then this will need to relate back to exercises. So they'll have a workout, they'll need to be related by the workout plan ID. So we'll go workout plan ID. We can just go plan ID. Plan ID. This will be a string. And then for the plan ID, we'll need to have it relate by the plan. And it's going to refer to the workout plan. We'll say at relation. The fields will be the plan ID. And we want it to reference, what's the syntax for that? We want it to reference the ID. Let me make sure I got this straight. Just thought of this on the fly. I don't want to make sure I don't mess it up. So users will log in, they'll log into the dashboard, and we can diagram this out. As a matter of fact, let's go to, what is it, Control Shift P. We'll just store this to the workout tracker. We'll name it structure, STR, structure, hit create. Change the interface of this a little bit. Let me just add so we'll say user, we'll call this home page. Then we'll say, where did I add this at? What? Sorry. We'll add another square. User logs in, no, user dashboard. I think we can rotate this. Oh man, that's fine. So in the user dashboard, the user can create a workout plan, and that plan can have an exercise, actually have multiple exercises. Been a while since I used this thing. But okay, they can have multiple exercises. So the exercise, the idea of the workout plan will need to be stored with the user because the user can have multiple plans. The exercise will need to be related back to the workout plan as the user can have multiple exercises within the plan. So the idea of the plan should be with the user. The user can have an array of workout plans. The exercises should be an array of, should have the plan ID where you can store multiple exercises within the plan. All right, that should cover it. All right, so we'll save that for right now. I think this should cover it, and if it is wrong, we can always go back and fix it. But I think this is going to cover it. So next, we'll need to migrate the file to the database. So we'll head back to the terminal and paste in this command. Press enter. Give it a moment. I'm just going to name it the knit. Everything looks good. Now we'll spin this up by typing npm run dev, and then I'll open up a second terminal and start the Prisma Studio. I type in npx prisma studio, which is a lightweight interface from Prisma that allows you to take a look at your database in a quick, light interface. And as you can see, we now have all of the models synced. If we click on account, we have the account fields listed. Same for exercise, session, user, verification, workout plan. Perfect. What I'd like to do now is add in the authentication to test this out, just to make sure that it is working properly. So we'll close down the schema. And just for testing purposes, we'll go to the page.tsx file. And I'm just going to keep it simple for right now because I may need to step away. But we'll make this a asynchronous function because we're going to run some server code within it. We'll start by bringing in the import of sign in. We'll include sign out, which is obviously going to give us the ability to sign out. And then we'll also add auth. I think it is off. Let me see. I would have thought it would have gave me some IntelliSense with it. We'll see. So inside of the function, we'll create a const named session and set it equal to await. Yep, it's auth. So I wonder why it didn't auto-populate, but it might have been me. So what this will do is going to give us access to the session object. From that object, we want to capture some information. We'll eventually capture the image and a few other things, but for right now, I just want the user email just for testing purposes. Let me make sure that the local server is working. I'll just refresh the page. Okay, no errors. Everything looks good. Excuse me. Okay, then I want to create a variable named user name and set it equal to session. Include a question mark because we may not have a session. And then you see we have access to the user. Include a question mark. And I want to just capture the user email since this variable name is user email. And then we'll say, for right now, we won't worry about rendering anything else. We'll just go inside of the main HTML tag and do a little bit of conditional rendering. So we'll say if we have a session, we want to return something. And if we don't have a session, we want to return something else. So just for simplicity purposes, and we'll add a little more functionality later, if we have a session, I want to render the sign out button. And if we don't have a session, I want to render sign in. So we'll go ahead and copy sign in since the documentation was so gracious to go ahead and have it together for us. And we're getting a error. Actually, we don't need to include all of this now that I think about it. All we need to return is a form. We don't need to return the function portion, excuse me. And we'll clean this up a little. And I can actually copy this exact same form and paste it in if we have a session and make some changes. So instead of it saying sign in with Google, we'll just say sign out. And we'll remove the Google string, and we'll remove sign in and replace it with sign out. Click save. I don't see any errors. So now let's go back to localhost. And as you can see, it is saying sign in with Google because right now we do not have a session. So let's go ahead and click sign in. You can see we're being redirected to select a Google account. These are ones that I have within my browser, so that's why it came up. And as you can see, we now see sign out, indicating that we have a session. Just to confirm, let's pass in the email to see what session we are, let's see what username we are seeing with this session. So if I pass it in, you see the username is the jadad@gmail.com, indicating that that's the user that signed in. So we have a user. That is great. Hello, hello, hello. Perfect. So with that, we actually have the initial setup complete. And I think at this point, I may need to step out and do a few adult things, but we will come back and begin to style this project by adding a header, the dashboard layout. Once we have the dashboard layout, we'll take advantage of some of the next features, such as with routing with links and path name and all that good stuff. And then we'll begin to create the first workout plan and add exercises to that workout plan. So I will see you when we return.